The bustling Grand Central Station was a river of hurried footsteps and fleeting glances, but for 17-year-old Maya, it was her stage. Perched on a worn-out milk crate, with a battered guitar case open at her feet for spare change, she sang. Her voice, a haunting melody of sorrow and hope, was all she had left. An orphan since she was a little girl, Maya had navigated the world alone, her music her only shield and her only friend. The station's symphony of announcements and rumbling trains was the only orchestra she'd ever known. Most people rushed past, their minds on departures and arrivals, but Maya kept singing, her eyes closed, pouring every ounce of her life into each note. One Tuesday afternoon, as the golden light of the setting sun streamed through the station's grand windows, a man in a tailored suit paused. His name was Arthur Vance, a self-made millionaire known in the business world for his sharp mind and even sharper negotiation skills. He was about to board a train to a crucial meeting, his mind a whirlwind of stock prices and corporate strategies. But then, he heard it. A voice that cut through the chaos, so pure and full of raw emotion it stopped him dead in his tracks. It wasn't just a pretty song. It was a story. A story of pain, resilience, and a flicker of hope that refused to be extinguished. Forgetting his train, his meeting, everything, Arthur walked towards the source of the sound. He saw a young girl, her clothes threadbare, her face smudged with city grime, but her expression as she sang was one of utter transcendence. He listened, captivated, as she finished her song. The last note hung in the air, a fragile, beautiful thing, before being swallowed by the station's noise. A few people clapped, tossing coins into her case. Maya opened her eyes, her gaze falling on the man standing before her. He wasn't moving, just watching her with an intensity that made her nervous. Arthur stepped forward. "That was extraordinary," he said, his voice softer than he intended. "Where did you learn to sing like that?" Maya shrugged, clutching her guitar. "I don't know, sir. It's just in me. It's how I talk when words aren't enough." Arthur saw more than a street performer. He saw a soul bearing itself to the world, asking for nothing but to be heard. He dropped $100 bill into her case, and her eyes widened in disbelief. "Thank you, sir," she whispered, her voice trembling, but Arthur didn't walk away. Something about her story, which he could hear so clearly in her music, resonated with a part of him he'd long since buried. He, too, had started with nothing, a boy from a poor neighborhood with dreams bigger than his reality. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maya," she replied. He made a decision right there, one that defied all logic and business sense. "Maya," he said, "I have a proposition for you. It's not about money. It's about that voice. I think the world needs to hear it." Maya was skeptical. People had made promises before, promises that evaporated like morning mist. But there was a sincerity in this man's eyes she hadn't seen before. He wasn't looking at her with pity, but with respect. He gave her a business card and told her to meet him at the address the next day. "I run a foundation for the arts," he explained. "We help young talents who don't have the means to pursue their dreams. Will you come?" That night, clutching the crisp bill and the stark white card, Maya barely slept. Was this real? Could this be the chance she had only dared to dream of? The next morning, with a mix of terror and excitement, she found her way to a gleaming skyscraper downtown. The office was worlds away from the gritty train station floor. Intimidated but determined, she gave the receptionist Arthur's card. When Arthur saw her, he smiled warmly. He didn't introduce her to a panel of judges or push her into a sterile audition room. Instead, he took her to a small, private recording studio within the building. "Just sing," he said gently. "Sing like you did yesterday. Sing your story." In the quiet of the studio, with a state-of-the-art microphone in front of her, Maya felt a wave of anxiety. But then she closed her eyes, imagined the rumbling trains, the hurried crowds, and she began to sing. Her voice filled the room, more powerful and clear than ever before. Arthur listened from the control room, a team of his foundation's top music producers beside him. They were stunned into silence. They heard not just talent, but genius. It was raw, unpolished, but it was undeniably brilliant. When she finished, there was a moment of profound silence before the room erupted in applause. For the first time, Maya wasn't singing for survival. She was singing for her future. The journey wasn't easy. Arthur enrolled her in vocal training, music theory, and even general education classes to help her catch up on the schooling she'd missed. He became more than a benefactor. He became a mentor, a father figure she never had. He taught her about the music industry, but also about life, about believing in her own worth beyond her voice. There were moments of doubt, times when the pressure felt overwhelming and the polished world of professional music felt alien. In those moments, Arthur would remind her of the girl in the train station. "Don't ever lose her, Maya," he'd say. "She is your strength. Her story is what makes your music real." 2 years passed, Maya blossomed. Her voice was now a finely tuned instrument, but it never lost the raw emotional honesty that had first captivated Arthur. The foundation planned a major charity gala to showcase its new artists. Maya was the headliner. The night of the concert, standing backstage in a simple, elegant gown, she was terrified. The audience was filled with industry executives, critics, and philanthropists. It was a far cry from a handful of commuters. Arthur found her, sensing her fear. He didn't offer empty platitudes. Instead, he handed her an old, worn-out milk crate he had saved from the station. "Remember where you came from," he said with a smile. "Not as a place of shame, but as the foundation of your strength. You weren't just singing for coins, Maya. You were singing for your life. Sing for them now." Taking a deep breath, Maya walked onto the stage. The spotlight was blinding. For a moment, she faltered. Then, she looked out into the darkness and imagined she was back in Grand Central. She closed her eyes and began to sing. The song was one she had written herself, about a lonely girl who found a family in the echoes of a train station. The entire hall fell silent. Her voice soared, weaving a tapestry of heartache and hope, of solitude and salvation. It was the same voice that had echoed through the station, but now it was filled with a newfound power and grace. When the final note faded, there was a beat of stunned silence, and then the entire auditorium rose to its feet in a thundering ovation. Tears streamed down Maya's face, but this time they were tears of joy. In the front row, Arthur Vance, the millionaire who had stopped for a song, applauded the loudest, his own eyes glistening with pride. He hadn't just discovered a star. He had witnessed the profound power of hearing someone's song, and in doing so, helped them rewrite their entire story. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring content. We'll see you in the next video.